The first maneuver will be for Soyuz Commander Valery Tokarev to perform a very subtle separation burn for about 8 seconds that will start the Soyuz moving farther away from the International Space Station. After about 2.5 hours, the deorbit burn will be initiated. That will last for 4 minutes and 19 seconds to change the velocity of the Soyuz by 115.2 meters a second, or about 258 miles an hour. That burn is scheduled to occur at 5:58 p.m. Central Time and will be followed by the free fall of the Soyuz. And that would result in a landing of the Soyuz spacecraft in central Kazakhstan at 6:48 p.m. Central Time. The landing site that is being targeted in central Kazakhstan is just to the northeast of Arkelik, about 50 kilometers or 31 miles away. It is about 380 kilometers or 236 miles southeast of Kustanai, where the primary recovery forces helicopters were based out of. And those helicopters have moved closer to the landing site to Arkelik after taking off from Kustanai about 1 a.m. Central Time this morning. They will take off from Arkelik and be en route to the landing site in close proximity to the deorbit burn in preparation for recovery of the crew. The recovery team will work quickly to make the crew comfortable and begin initial medical checkups inside a temporary tent at the landing site. The weather forecast at the landing site calls for temperatures around 20 degrees Fahrenheit with clear skies. The landing time will be about 1 hour and 2 minutes before sunrise at in Kazakhstan.
Valery,
After the initial medical checkups and
pressure in the SI is 777 and pressure in
is ready. They will ferry the crew to Kustanai for additional checkups, and the crew will board a plane to return to the Chkalovsky Airport, which is near the Gagarin Cosmonaut Training Center in Star City, which is about 30 miles outside of Moscow. That is where the crew members will greet a group of family, friends, and colleagues, and then they will undergo some of their initial rehabilitation routines. That return to Star City is expected about 8 hours after landing, which would be around noon on Monday in Star City. The undocking now 28 minutes from now at 3:28 p.m. Central Time is being overseen by the flight control team in Russian Mission Control Center in Korolev, just outside of Moscow. The Soyuz flight control team there is led by Flight Director Rafael Ashimov. The International Space Station and the Soyuz spacecraft are orbiting above the Earth just over Africa now. At an altitude of 218 statute miles, the two vehicles are expected to pass over the Russian communication stations in about 20 minutes from now.
Да.
Valerie, yes.
We выполним транзит минут, да? Да, выполняем.
We're performing the 20 minutes, yes.
Часть Бдус 1.
Now, Bdus 1, 3, yes.
И все транзиты, да. Еще минута.
Another minute,
Да.
yes.
Давление
Pressure in the SI is 669,
было...
and it was
Да. Итого 13.
772, so it's 13 millimeters delta, right?
Повторите, пожалуйста, давление высота.
Repeat the pressure, please. It's a 669, so basically it's pretty constant. 668, 669. Valery Ivanovich,
Было 666, пожалуйста.
please repeat the reading. 669, that's what I wrote.
Так,
Anyway,
7, 6, 9.
69 delta P is 13,
Стабильно.
stable.
Так, все.
And I think this is it. I think we've timed out, and we are opening RPV1 and RP2.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thanks. Yeah, right. Так, закончили проверку.
We are done with the leak check, and we are moving on to page 82.
Резервная расстыковка.
Back up.
This is Mission Control Houston, continuing to monitor a conversation between Mission Control Moscow and Soyuz Commander Valery Tokarev as preparations for undocking move along schedule.
Проверяем.
5.
Undocking now at 23 minutes from now at 3:20.
ССВП.
Look at the SSVP. Okay, SDR.
Первый секция не горит.
Okay, the first section is not illuminated. The second section is illuminated. The third is illuminated. The fourth is illuminated.
Да, центральный
Central.
светофор открыт.
The data from the panel.
Визир причал не горит. РО нейтральный.
Визир причала is not.
Выдвинуто, зафиксировано. Окей. Окей. Один и, по-моему, один. Оставь их там, бил 1-1. Труд, да, труд. Конечно. Да, был. Хорошо. ССВП. Ручку. Так. 6. Формат ССВП.
Okay, I'm looking at the SSVP.
Телефон из-за
The light is. We need to turn the light on. We had the floodlight on. So I guess 1 minute prior to the undocking, we'll turn it on. Will be during the illuminated portion of the orbit, so it will be okay. Yes, it will be actually shining right into our faces. Okay, that's true. Turn it on. So how much time do we have? 20 until. Okay, one way or another.
Включаем, у нас время не обозначено. Включаем R9.
Active the 1. Okay, 3. R9.
R9.
Okay, it works. I agree.
R9
R9
и потом R7.
and then R7. But we need to first prepare. Rasvit, please respond. This is MCC Moscow.
Хорошо, и потом
Okay, and then
R7. Объявить и потом
and then R9 and R7.
R9.
R9
Ты уже объявил.
and I've issued this one already. Okay, I see that. Now this command.
Выдали.
Command has been sent.
Проверяем объединенное питание.
This is Mission Control Houston, undocking scheduled 20 minutes from now.
The 2 and then 8 and LEDs on. Good.
Что-то у нас тепло.
Again, it's getting pretty warm, isn't it? Yes, but the switch in the maximum position. Yes, yes. Did you double check it? Double check it, but
I turned it to maximum.
I remember setting it. It was at the minimum before, and then I'd switched it to the maximum. Turned it on to the maximum position. Okay, very good.
It's exactly what I asked about.
Rasveta, do you copy? Okay. Your time. Would they assign the boil pressure again?
Скафандры герметичны.
And the time for the check
На 20
at 23:01 delta P in the SR was 13. P in the BO was 0. We copy. Current 770. 770. What about the BO? 669. Copy. Oh. Please open page 98 for the ascent and descent book. Now we can hear you. How do you hear?
Yes.
Well, now I hear you as well.
Я просил
I was asking you to repeat what you said because we had breaking calm.
8 открываем.
Please open page 98. Okay, opening page 98.
Открыли 90.
Page 98 is open. Did not copy the transmission from Moscow. Yes, so activate Rus power. Yes. It says here, turn on the power for Rus, then switch specialist here.
Понятно.
Okay.
Страница 100.
Page 100. That's in the large frame there, right?
Да, в большой рамке нештатная ситуация.
Yes. In the large phrase of nominal situation option, yes. Need to monitor that the LED is not on. Do you understand the instructions? We see LED monitoring. Understood. It will start blinking if the angular rate is around 30.
This is Mission Control Houston. The undocking of the Soyuz spacecraft with the Expedition 12 and Brazilian astronaut crews is scheduled to occur now about 15 minutes from now at 3:28 p.m. Central Time. About 3 minutes before that at 3:25, Soyuz Commander Valery Tokarev will send the command for the undocking, and then the hooks will open and the Soyuz will back away from the International Space Station at a rate of about 0.12 meters a second, which is about about 3 minutes after Soyuz from the space station. Tokarev will perform a slight separation burn to continue and start the Soyuz moving farther away from the International Space Station. The Soyuz spacecraft is currently docked to the aft end of the station at the Zvezda service module.
Bill, we've had a different radiogram.
Of this Soyuz vehicle for the fourth time, docking to each at the station in October and during 2 relocations of the vehicle at the complex.
Still warm, isn't it?
Так, еще раз проверяем.
Let's check it again.
Еще раз проверяем.
Again.
Давление в шар-баллонах 170. Температура высота...
Pressure in the side still, it still refuses to show above, at least it sometimes appears.
Look at it's a probably sensor fault. Look at here. It's give information, wrong information. It means automatically making warmer. Понятно. It's sensor wrong. That is not good. Так,
13 minutes.
CT Marcus is okay because it feels good. Sometimes I have some advantage of being short, small. Yeah, correct.
This is Mission Control Houston. Soyuz Commander Valery Tokarev scheduled to send the undocking command in.
Transmitted, this is MCC Moscow. Yes, we have you loud and clear. We have you loud and clear also. Let's verify the time from the info. 23:15:34:56. We copy. The clock is correct.
This is Mission Control Houston, the command for undocking scheduled.
Ready for the undocking. The hatches are sealed, are also pressurized. I have reported all the time, and I am ready to activate SSPAM at 24. Okay, we copy. The data per the table. Repeat this, the speed, please, because we have a lot of interferences. 567 for the propellant and for the 77 for the tank. Okay, we copy. That's a good copy.
This is Mission Control Houston, the command for descent in 5 minutes from now at 3:25 p.m. Central Time. That would result in 3 minutes later of the Soyuz schedule for a targeted landing in central Kazakhstan at 6:48 p.m. Central Time tonight, or 5 at the landing site.
We've started receiving the telemetry. We need some time to analyze it. (21:24).
Только надо сделать движение, нажатие.
Too many buttons. Press 232400. Activate the SSVP.
This is Mission Control Houston, now 5 minutes away from undocking, 2 minutes from the undocking command.
МКС по Москве. 3, 2,
3, 2, 1.
Выдали до 7, ССВП есть, мех соединения есть, штанга Сан-Санта, крюки закрыты.
Ascend Moscow, ascend the command electrical connectors. Demated, and we're ready for the D-17. Okay, we copy.
Как слышно?
Can you hear us? Yes, we hear you loud and clear, and you have a go. Рассвете, this for the final command. So 232500, we are open.
И больше ничего не трогай. Хорошо. Yes.
15-10-5. We've sent the command to open the...
Operation command has been sent by Tokarev. The hooks and latches will spring open in about 3 minutes.
ВРТПУ depth, yes. In about 1 minute. Okay, 13. We've issued this 13. Okay, we copy.
Нормально. Только пока.
This time. We don't see anything. It's 12. MCC Moscow, yes. We don't see it yet. You have sent the KR9 command, correct? Yes.
Проявляется, да. Ага.
I think I'm starting to see it.
Идет. Так. Прошло минуты.
1 minute 50.
Да, 49. Бэк соединений погас. Есть. Погасание в 23:27.
23:27:07. LED is off.
This is video from Russian grounds.
The SSVK mode has been performed. Moscow, do you hear us? Yes, we have you loud and clear. The movement, yes, we are receiving the TV picture as well, and we are...
The Soyuz spacecraft backing away from the station right on time at 3:30 time. The two spacecraft are currently orbiting above.
Activate that, right? No, don't at this time. Okay, we won't.
.28 p.m. Central Time, the Soyuz spacecraft backing away. In about 2 minutes, Soyuz will perform a very subtle separation burn for 8 seconds at a rate of 0.3 meters. With the Soyuz moving farther away from the International Space Station.
31 minutes. We are getting very... we read you loud and clear. We can see the... We just see the shape of the station. We don't see the size, the relative size. Showing T-17 right time at 23:31. You can proceed. T-31. We have issued D-17. We are ready to deactivate the SSVP by command D8.
This view from the International Space Station showing the Soyuz spacecraft backing away from the complex. Expedition 12 and Brazilian astronaut crew inside.
Indications are off, including probe retracted, and the issued because D-13 was issued. Is that correct? There's deactivate pressurization A4. Go ahead. That's good. ODR is not being issued at this time. Spherical bottle number 1 is no change. The second one is 175. And propellant is at 23:52:00. And you have to activate it at the specified time. Accelerometer, that's fine. 23:52. Okay, in about 20. Just a reminder to take water and salt supplements. Understand. 7-3. Seven 3-8. Since we haven't issued ODR, we need to look at the display issuing and issuing T2 to deactivate the headsets. Issue M17. M17.
М-17, да, правильно, ТВ-Рус.
ТВ.
Три нуля.
And it's 0050.
Безотбойная, что ли?
You can go ahead and issue G4. Issuing G4.
Выдали Г4.
We have issued G4.
Ну и теперь мы что, инфу выключаем или нет?
Shall we deactivate INPU? No.
Да нам удобнее не выключать.
It's more convenient. You can release the transmit button.
Хорошо, ведем связь через СНГ.
That's it. We're going to be talking in the push-to-talk mode. and we'll be activating the descent timeline using the command radio link. Copy command radio link. Rassveti, how is the temperature? Is there an improvement of some sort? No? It's still the same. The thing is that the problem is in the sensor because it's reading less than 14 degrees and the automatic thermal control accordingly. So it's warm. Yeah, and it's not getting any cooler. Copy. Rassveti, please note we have S-band. Ready to copy. It started at 23:24 and it's going to last till 23:48.
Craft continuing to back away from the International Space Station as the two vehicles orbit over the Pacific Ocean now.
Zero 046. And then at 0050 we pass right after that. Okay, 0050. And we're going to await a call from you that you have activated the accelerometer. At 52 you're going to activate and you're going to come AOS at 54. How copy? 52 we will activate and AOS is at 54. We need to call barometer activation. That's correct.
The Soyuz spacecraft will continue drifting away from the space station. At a safe distance, the deorbit burn will be initiated. That will be about 2.5 hours after the undocking. That deorbit burn will bring the vehicle back into the Earth's atmosphere and it is scheduled for 5:58 p.m. Central Time. with a landing at 6:48 p.m. Central Time or 5:48 in the morning at the landing site in central Kazakhstan.
Can see you. And are you beautiful? Are you very hot?
This is Mission Control Houston, the Soyuz spacecraft continuing to back away from the International Space Station. Inside the Soyuz is Expedition 12 Commander Bill MacArthur and Flight Engineer Valery Tokarev. Serving as the Soyuz commander now for the fourth time for this vehicle. Along with them is Brazilian Space Agency astronaut Marcus Pontes, who's been in space for almost 10 days now after launching with the Expedition 13 crew. Expedition 13 Commander Pavel Vinogradov and Flight Engineer Jeffrey Williams, now in charge on board the space station for their 6-month mission aboard the complex. They helped with preparations for the Expedition 12 crew to leave today and bid farewell. And the hatch was closed between the Soyuz and the station at 12:23 p.m. Central Time, signifying the official handover to Expedition 13. Vinogradov and Williams are working through the final hours of their day on board the space station and are scheduled to go to sleep about 7 p.m. Central Time tonight. Undocking of the Soyuz spacecraft occurred right on schedule at 3:28 p.m. Central Time. Next up in the timeline will be the deorbit burn of the spacecraft, which is scheduled to occur at 5:58 p.m. Central Time. That burn will last 4 minutes and 19 seconds and will change to the velocity by 115.2 meters a second, or about 258 miles an hour, and that will be followed by the free fall of the Soyuz. After that, the two modules that burn up in the Earth's atmosphere, the orbital module or habitational module, and the instrumentation propulsion module will separate about 6:21 p.m. and the Soyuz will begin its atmospheric re-entry about 6:24 p.m. A couple minutes later, the entry guidance onboard software will be initiated at 6:26, and the crew will feel the maximum G-forces somewhere in the 4 to 5 G range about 6:31 p.m. An initial pilot parachute will open at 6:33, deploying the drogue chute to slow the spacecraft. The drogue chute has an area of 24 square meters and slows the Soyuz's rate of descent from 230 meters a second, or about 755 miles an hour, to 80 meters a second, or 262 miles an hour. The main parachute will then follow in sequence, and it has an area of 1,000 square meters and slows the Soyuz's descent to 7.6 meters a second, or about 17 miles an hour. It also angles the spacecraft vertically until just before touchdown, when the thrusters will fire. The retrograde thrusters on the Soyuz will fire about approximately 2 seconds before the landing, and the speed at touchdown will be about 2 meters a second, or about 4.5. Hour. That landing is scheduled for 6:48 p.m. Central Time this evening. It will be 5:48 a.m. at the landing site in central Kazakhstan, about 31 miles to the northeast of Arkalek. The primary recovery forces are staged out of Arkalek and will be taking off from that point and en route to the landing site in close proximity to the deorbit burn in preparation for recovery of the crew. With the Soyuz crew on its way back to Earth, we'll wrap up our coverage here of the undocking of the spacecraft and resume coverage here on NASA television of the return of Expedition 12 and Brazilian astronaut at 5:30 p.m. Central Time. Again, the deorbit burn scheduled for 5:58 p.m. Central Time, and the landing at 6:48 p.m. In the meantime, Mission Control Houston here and the Mission Control outside of Moscow will continue to monitor systems aboard the station and the Soyuz as it begins its trip back to Earth. Until 5:30 p.m. Central Time, this is Mission Control Houston.